Hello, Happy New Year! It's Who Time once again in 2021, and today we're going to be reviewing this. Wait, that's not Doctor Who related. Oh, sorry. We're actually going to be reviewing this. Oh, well, we're getting closer. Terminator has time travel in it, at least. This is what we're actually reviewing. The Witch's Familiar set. Boom. Now, a big thanks to John Harris who picked this up for me from a B&M. I personally haven't managed to make it to a store of late. And yeah, a big thank you for charging me the cost price of $19.99 plus sign for postage, 25 quid all in. Thank you, very reasonable. And a big thanks for watching the channel. Big thanks to John. Now, he also asked me to unbox and review this set. And of course, that's what I'm going to do. Any opportunity to talk about the 12th Doctor era, I'm in. So let's go and take a look. And welcome to my light box. I just got this over Christmas. I thought it'd be great for unboxing videos and showcasing custom figures and that sort of thing. So you'll probably see this in quite a few videos going forward. Right here, onto the set. Here it is, the Witch's Familiar set. Before we get onto the figures themselves, let's have a little look at the packaging, the boxing. I won't spend too long on this, obviously, because you've probably seen this all before. So, looking at the boxing, we've got the standard branding and logo and everything that we've seen since the 2019 B&M waves came out. So we've got the TARDIS, we've got the Jodie Whittaker era, 13th Doctor era logo up here. Same fonts, nice limited edition sticker here, Witch's Familiar set. Now you'll notice on the front that there is actually an error. If you look here, you can see it says The Witch's Familiar 1988. Wonderful. I didn't know it came out then. The 7th Doctor and the 12th Doctor had a series in the same year. Crazy times. No, not really. Obviously that's not what happened. This set came out at the same time as the Coal Hill School set with Ace and the Imperial Dalek, and I think they just made a little error here. Should be 2015. It probably went into production before they could fix it, and they thought, well, it's not worth the cost. So, well, fair enough. So, yeah, a little error there. And if we take a look around the side, we've got the TARDIS, the logo again. On the other side, we've got the TARDIS taking up the entire side of the box. And then on the back, we have pictures of the two figures. Lovely. The 12th Doctor and Davros from this classic Doctor Who adventure. Now, they clearly thought this is from the classic series, probably because of an older Doctor. Who knows? You'll also notice that they've actually got the year correct for the Witch's Familiar on the back here, 2015. So it's just on the front that it says 1988. No wonder they didn't bother changing it. It's just a small error on the front. So yeah, there we go. And then at the back here, we've got a nice little blurb about the Witch's Familiar, Magician's Apprentice, that whole story, with some stuff about Easter eggs or references to previous stories, a bit about the Daleks in it. So if you want to have a look at that, just pause now and have a read and then continue the video. For the rest of us, let's get inside. Okay, let's get in. There we go. Out you come.
3 days later.
Don't know why I'm struggling to get this out. Here we go. Let's just cut this. Ta-da! Move that out of the way. Okay, let's put the figures to one side for a mo, just so we can have a quick look at this cardboard insert, a little diorama. Well, here we go. This is the Dalek control room in The Magician's Apprentice, and Witch's Familiar. Moscato. It's very nice. Nice 3D render of it, just minus all those various Daleks that are in there from all years. That's very nice. Nice little insert if you want to display your figures in a little diorama. Can't see any Easter eggs hiding in here. They sometimes do throw in some little references to other Doctor Who stories, but yeah, nothing like that here I can see. Alright, let's have a look at the figures themselves. And here's the creator of the Daleks himself, Davros, straight out of the box. Now this is the lovely Julian Bleach incarnation of Davros, looking spectacular. Now for those of us who are big figure collectors, you'll know that this is basically a straightforward re-release of the Davros that came in the Stolen Earth set. That also featured the Dalek with the Crucible attachment, 10th Doctor of course, and the red and gold Supreme Dalek. It's the same sculpt basically, and they've just straightforwardly re-released it. Looking at the paintwork, well, on mine it's a bit frustrating. He's got a scuff on his nose, and you can also see the mould line on his head, which is a bit frustrating. But otherwise, if we bring in the original Davros from that aforementioned Stolen Earth set, here he comes. Whoop. Still waving. Oh, let's put that down. So that's the original Davros over here. compared to him. Now if we compare the two, obviously the new release has a much shinier silver on the hemispheres here and more of a matte black. The fenders are basically the same, apart from on the original version he's got the bolts all painted silver, which is a nice touch, a bit more detail. Obviously this was a cheaper set, so it's not going to have as much care as the original release did. Otherwise it's roughly the same. Like in terms of the control panel here, those aren't really any hugely different. Again, the rest of the silver parts are in a shinier silver than the original. In terms of the paint apps on the face, I prefer the new version actually. They've got this darker grey wash or darker grey base paint that they've put on the head and then put a browny flesh colour over the top, or dry brushed it on top. And it means that you can see a lot more of the details of the head sculpt compared to the original over here. Overall, it's obviously the same figure, but with slightly different paint apps, and I think out of the two, I do actually prefer this new version and the paint apps done on here. I like the shinier silver paint that's been used, I like the matte black on the skirt. Mainly, what I love most is the paint applications to the head, so you can see all the details of the sculpt. So yeah, very happy with him. The only thing you're missing out on is really just the bolts being painted silver, but I could do that myself really, so not the end of the world. If you haven't got Davros in your collection, or new series Davros, then do pick up the set. Very cheap way to pick him up. And here's the 12th Doctor from The Witch's Familiar out of the box. Now for those of us who are well up on the figure range, we know that this is just a straightforward re-release once again. They already have the Series 9 sculpt that they used for the 5.5 Collector Series range. Now if I just bring those into the shot, hang on. Boom! As you can clearly see, we have just got a straightforward re-release of these two guys with different paint apps. So on the right here we've got the 12th Doctor as seen in The Girl Who Died. He's got his pink t-shirt, a sort of bluer hoodie, a slightly bluer coat as well, differently checkered trousers. Over here on the left we have what is probably the definitive look of the 12th Doctor from Series 9. He wears this quite a lot actually. He wears this right at the start of The Magician's Apprentice when he meets Doctor Davros. He wears it in the Under the Lake Before the Floods two-parter as well. I think he wears it in the Zygon two-parter and also in Sleep No More. So he actually wears this costume most in Series 9. And he's got this white dotted jumper, a sort of green coloured hoodie, and a bluer jacket. Right, so let's look at the paint apps of the new guy, the new variation of the 12th Doc. So, already quite obviously, the jacket colour for some reason, or the coat colour, is not a blue like the other two, when it should be. It's a kind of grey, blacky colour. It's got a black hoodie, which is correct. They've given a sort of hint of what the t-shirt was in The Witch's Familiar Magician's Apprentice two-parter. It's just a white t-shirt with a sort of dark grey design on it, but on here they've just put a bit of wash roughly where the design is. Obviously I'd prefer they put more detail into it, but it's only a 20 quid set, whereas these two figures were 20 quid in of themselves. So obviously there's a bit more detail on these. I couldn't really ask for the nice detail like they've got on this Girl Who Died version on a much cheaper set, alas. But there we go. You've got the nice checkered trouser design, which is accurate. On both the original releases here, we've got much shinier boots than this version. You also notice that the buttons haven't been painted a different colour, like on the other versions. You've got black painted on the buttons to make them stand out. You can also see on the buttons on the sleeve, if I turn him to the side here, you'll see on the original version over here, they've painted those buttons on the sleeve, including the one in the middle red. On here, they haven't done that at all. Again, that must be due to the cost of the set. They've had to miss out on a few things, which is a shame. Looking on the inside of the jacket, they have painted that red, which is nice, like the old versions. They have the same red all the way to the edges of the coat, which is lovely. Looking at the head, you've got pretty similar paint apps really. Maybe a slightly lighter shade of pale skin. Unfortunately in my version there's a little wart or little blemish on the sculpt there. I'll have to try and fix that. But yeah, slightly paler, he's got slightly paler lips. In terms of the hair, I think the paint apps on the hair is actually better than the original ones. It looks like he's got smaller strands of hair with different colours of grey. Looks a bit more detailed. Just a quick look at the hands, like the head. We've got a slightly paler skin tone painted on than the previous versions. They have nicely put on the ring. They've painted the gold ring. Again, that's the same on the older versions, which is good. That's nice attention to detail. I didn't think we'd get that, given they've missed out on other small bits. Well, I think that's the paint apps covered. The only other thing that is missing that would be nice to have is the sonic screwdriver that came with the 2 previous versions, which is a shame, but I guess that's because, again, the cost of the set doesn't make any profit if you start adding more detail and accessories, etc. So to be honest, I am slightly disappointed with it, but given the cost of the set, I can understand why it looks the way it does. I'm tempted myself to just repaint it in some areas just to give it a bit more detail. But if you haven't got a Series 9 Capaldi, obviously this is a very cheap way, the cheapest way to grab one. These older versions are now quite difficult to get and do cost a fair bit on eBay, so yeah, if you haven't got a Series 9 Capaldi, definitely worth getting this set. Go and grab it. And before we wrap up, here are the 2 figures added to my 12th Doctor era on the shelves. Beautiful. Very glad to add some more figures to this era. Hopefully we get some more actual official releases for this era, because obviously we don't have actually that many. As you can see here, I've added a load of customs. If you want to hear all about that, go check out my 12th Doctor era figure collection video. It'll explain all about that. If you want to pick up the Witch's Familiar set, these 2 figures here, this, it's of course still available at B&M stores. Now the availability of the set will vary from store to store. For some reason they don't all have it. So I'd advise that you check online or check the B&M app or ring the store ahead before you go. I hear on social media that the set has actually reduced in price in some stores, and I imagine it does vary from store to store. So it's gone from $19.99 down to $12.99. So you might be able to go and grab yourself a bargain if you go and get it now. Well, if you like this video, why not go and like and comment on the video? It really helps me out. The whole YouTube algorithm and all that. Also, go and subscribe to the channel. We've got tons of content, a whole variety of stuff. Put a lot of effort in. I think it's worth a watch. Go check it out. Also, you need to keep tabs on when I get new content out. So click on that bell for notifications. And if you want more, go and follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @WhoTimeUK. I've got Instagram as well. Similarly, that is instagram.com/WhoTimeUK. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one.